Empire, and Coastline being the decider. I hope Empire have learned their lessons from any problems they had on Coastline yesterday. But of course, Nora-Rengo are going to be looking for those same weaknesses. These bans are going to be so crucial to how this map plays out, especially for Joystick if yesterday was anything to go off of. And there's that glass ban from Nora-Rengo. So again, Empire do not have to worry about that, as Dev was mentioning down there. It'll be interesting to see what Empire are going to go with, though.
Glaz has been a pretty hit or miss operator, honestly, for them.
Literally.
Oh, I said hit or miss, didn't I? Well, there goes Twitch chat. Glaz has been either you have a lot of success with him so far if you're a team taking him, or you completely outright ban it. You're just not even going to try because it's not worth the effort, really, and it's either swung the match heavily in the side of the favor of the team that's taking him, or it's really been an anchor weighing down a team trying to bring the Glaz and utilize the smoke push. When it all falls apart at the end, the Glaz isn't hitting his shots, and the incursion into the objective just completely stalls out. So not seeing it here again, not really surprised as well on Consulate, not the biggest Glaz map unless you're attacking downstairs.
Well, the way the bans went down here, it looks like Nora-Rengo going to be playing their favorite operators in the sense of Waka and Maryu being able to both freely play Valkyrie and Ashe, something they played a lot of. And you heard Dev talking about that earlier. We will likely see the 6 pick from the Rook coming out from Waka if he's going off of what he was teasing there. There it is. Going to have those cameras up. And that's also going to help Ramu to be able to play a little bit more around the map as well. Not to mention the Evil Eyes and then the Castle Barricades to slow things down. So this is going to be on Empire to really suss things out early and get an idea which parts of map control they can get quickly and which parts are going to require intensive droning and pushing players Nora-Rengo out. Even when you get map control on this map, though, we've seen this season especially, map control is certainly not a permanent thing. Doesn't matter how many claymores you have, doesn't matter how many people you have on flank watch, the drop hatches, the 3 staircases, you cannot dominate this map, especially if you lose anyone on attack early.
Well, I think Team Reciprocity, who will be in the second semifinal against G2 today, are the perfect example of that, in which that they have the utmost fluidity in their gameplay. And like you said, it doesn't really matter if you have an extensive flank watch. You've got 3 people watching your flank, for God's sake, and they still rip through you. And Nora-Rengo and Empire also have similar play styles to that. Not to the degree that Reciprocity bring with all 3 of their high-tier fraggers maneuvering the map with ease, but it's a close second for both of these teams.
Yeah, definitely going to be the case here where they're going to have to fill each other out these first couple of rounds, I imagine. So it really could be up to kind of a coin toss of sorts for the first 2 as both teams look to see what kinds of things they can get away with. That's when you start to test the limits, much like a child. But much like a child, often going to get told no and smacked down very hard if that doesn't work out. So Joystick, of course, going to be the one to test that with his typical admin push, something we saw him stray away from later on, and actually be a bit more successful on against Liquid when he stopped continuing to do this, but he's going to see if he can get away with it, as he doesn't really worry too much about anyone being on the second floor as much, because the bomb site not being there or on the top floor means this is something he should be able to get away with. But he's going to need some backup here from Shockwave soon, who I imagine might go for some pushes on the projector potentially, something he did a lot of yesterday.
I also like seeing the bans coming out are not direct counter bans to one individual on either side. They got rid of the Echo, which was dominating and completely influential in changing the course of, honestly, all the games yesterday. They take out a Glaz, which, like I said, has either been a sandbag or a godsend for some teams. And on Empire's side, they take out the Mirror and the Ying, the same bans they always do. But Joystick has free mobility on all of his preferred operators, the 2 of them, and same thing with Waka. Valkyrie is not being banned out like Liquid tried to do again, or not Liquid, whoever they played yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, though, that was a good operator for Shockwave as well. So both teams not wanting to ban what they want to play, but there we go, some missed shots leading to Waka being able to stay alive through that potentially. And that's going to be a bit of a problem here because that's still continuing to burn time because there is just down about the 2-minute mark. Waka, unfortunately, just gets punished on his feet, but Scyther in the meantime is going to finish off Papilia, so this is looking pretty good for Empire, who've essentially gotten 2 kills early on here with just a bit of punishment to Karjeka.
Well, the big shot will be Ramu inside of Bathroom to remove the head of Karjeka, as he'll now flank back down Yellow Stairs, leaving Waka to bleed out and die, and everyone on Empire unaware that they've downed Waka inside of CEO. They also have Mario to contend with inside of the bathroom on the main floor. Scyther continues to push his way through. Team Empire right now running low on time. Another peek from Ramu. He'll do a little bit of damage to Joystick before backing off, and Scyther will have his flank cut off inside of Zig hallway. Now utilizing some of these X-Kairos charges onto the back walls. Shepard had taken out the garage panel, and there goes Joystick again, taking down Waka finally in behind CEO. So it's Mario and Raysil, peeking his way up yellow stairs. Shockwave will remove Mario from play. A good flank here from Raysil, but he's now abandoned the objective, and this is free site control for Empire if they can take advantage. Trying to push one in through the garage panel, one through the office hallway, and one remaining on top. Control Joystick will be down. Raysil taking fire from the backside, and Shepard in the dying moments will give Empire an initial lead.
Now, one problem I think Nora-Rengo ran into a bit there was they ran into way too many firefights early. They had good firefights where they were able to get away to an extent, but didn't do so. They continued to press their luck. Because of that, the time burning down didn't really backfire against Empire because they were, well, they got so many kills during that time that they didn't actually have to go for a plant, and absolutely worked out in Empire's favor. So Nora-Rengo gonna have to think a bit more cautiously about their own play, but that's what I said about testing those early rounds. They wanted to see how much can we get away with on this map, how much can we move around, and they were adequately punished for it. Joystick able to do his thing. He did take a bit of damage, but he seems to be able to get away from most engagements without taking enough damage to put him out of the fight. We rarely see him get reset either. He just doesn't seem to be able to need it. He will continue to press and press and press until he dies, but that's usually the job of an entry fragger like that. Even if he dies, as long as he gets his entry done, gets the map control for his team. But we also saw a lot of good flanks come out from the rest of Empire to catch a lot of the players of Nora-Rengo off guard. So this is going to be on them now that they're playing a different bomb site here. To play this a little bit differently in terms of, we know they attacked from admin. We can use that to our advantage. We can control this map a little bit better this time, and this is where they can play the fact that yellow stairs is just not really controlled by Empire.
Honestly, with that roam game from Nora-Rengo, I expected to come out in full force again. Number one, because of the amount of time they kill. All it takes is one gunfight to go in opposite direction, and maybe Waka's foot not to be exposed behind a desk. And suddenly, Empire is stalling out on a roam clear. So I imagine Nora-Rengo, while they didn't get the round out of it, and the gunfight didn't exactly go their way, they still feel pretty confident about their roaming potential on console. And that's really a good sign to see from Nora-Rengo, even after they dropped the first round. And for Empire, you got to speed things up a little bit near that end. If you're still 45 seconds left and you're still clearing out the top floor, 2 floors away from the objective, something's gone wrong.
The upside of it is they did have the garage doors open, so if they needed to go for a plant, it was entirely possible, but they needed to have that diffuse play on lock. Pilly, though, denying some of that admin play early on. He's playing the ACOG, but it is a little, I mean, I suppose this is a risky play. Playing the ACOG so far up, usually playing the ACOG, you're going to be playing it far back in the console side to use that long desk to your advantage, take the fights to them as well and slow them down. But he wants to deny as long as possible and hope if he takes damage, he's got that Rook armor, he can back off and really just slow down an admin push. But this is where Shockwave was doing exceedingly well yesterday, was on these plays on the projector side using his grenades to full extent. And that is something they will be able to do here, but there is a Jaeger ADS, so they're gonna need to burn that before he can do some work here, but it looks like they must already have as he goes for the throw, but completely read into as he completely telegraphed that yesterday.
Confident plays there from Raysil, as just 30 seconds prior he was laying prone underneath those windows, trying to see if Shockwave would go for the rappel upside down directly onto the balcony, but good spot from him, a good pick, and another run out here from Waka. He has diffuser control. Papilia and Ramu both tack on. All of a sudden, it's Karzeka in the middle of a landslide, a 1v5 to work out of. No diffuser control and being constantly peeked by Papilia. Outside the bathroom, oh, what a shot by Karzeka. He's got the smoke, close range. Takes up the Toxic Babe, replaced in the wall. Another one will be thrown out by Raysil, but now Karzeka really needs to retreat, and the Pulse Cardiac Sensor from Ramu directly below him as he ejects the hatch. Continuing to cycle back and forth, not really a planned progression. The Nitro Cell will land errant and not connect onto Karzeka, but inside of admin, still a 1v4 and time dwindling, using all of his utility, will now vault straight into Tellers and take down Ramu. Another flank at the bottom of Spiral is Waka, and he'll finally close it off.
Great clutch attempt there by Karzeka, but the big problem with the attack from Empire coming out on console, so when they're attacking out down to garage, for Nora-Rengo, they know they have to worry about a lot more of the map because the top 2 floors, the approaches are going to be a little less predictable outside of the push onto admin. But when you are controlling the bomb site console, you know they're pushing mostly from the admin side. There are limited control angles. You know they have to push projector. You know they have to control spiral. Because of all those different predictable angles, they were able to play so much more aggressive towards the positions they knew they were going to be fighting against. Absolutely worked that to their advantage. The only problem is you can only play console once every 3 rounds, potentially. So now they have to go back to garage and figure out a different way to play this. They played very aggressively upstairs last time, which in theory should have been the right move to kind of delay as long as possible, but it didn't really work out. And they might want to turtle a little bit more, maybe still have 1 or 2 roamers up top, but have them ready to drop hatches, have them ready to push back the site, and honestly, they might even want to play a little bit heavier bathroom, which is what they look like they're reinforcing now. That seems like the smart approach, because a bathroom play lets you deny piano for a good period of time, but still potentially safely drop hatch, and you also deny some lobby play as well, so it is one of the safer ways to deny the middle floor. Top floor is always a gamble, though.
10 seconds left.
Looks like Waka and Ramu will be rotating upstairs to go for their roam game once again over by CEO in bathroom hallway. Waka throwing out some Valk cams again, and obviously his preferred operator, but also having some pretty good success with the Bandit in the last round, and honestly, he and Maryu often trade roles back and forth, whether it's the Ash role, the Bandit, anything with a UMP, honestly, anything with a Nitro Cell. It's always the same roles going back and forth between Waka and Maryu, and whoever's feeling like they're having a hot day, they'll take the more aggressive stance.
Well, Waka is taking an aggressive stance here up. Hopefully won't get caught, like you said, with his feet sticking out of the desk, but the important thing is he has that hatch ready, but I was going to say he needs to make sure that the piano control is still there from the bathroom first before he drops it, but good C4 placement there will at least give him a backup if they go to approach it, but he knows this is, again, the approach, the predictability. But that is the one thing we've talked about with Empire, right, is their predictability is something that can be used against. Liquid did use it to an extent yesterday, but we saw that is not enough. You also have to have the aim, and Nora-Rengo are known to have that aim.
It's a contest of 2 teams who arguably have not the most developed strategies in the world, at least that we've seen so far this week. And Shockwave will take down Maryu as he dives into piano, drops him down the hatch, and will catch Maryu off guard as he tries to rotate through the antechamber hallway, and now in behind circle desk again. Has someone to contend with inside of the bathroom, and now it's Waka, who was originally all the way upstairs inside of CEO, drops down the cubby hatch, and a frag grenade being prepped and launched straight in. A tap fire there from Waka, but Joystick will take down Papillia before Ramu will trade out Joystick. Waka still alive inside of the bathroom, causing some havoc until Shockwave presses in and removes him from play. Ramu retaking the objective as he's rotated back downstairs and trying to use a Nitro Cell or a cardiac sensor. Try and acquire another pick, try and bring the man count back into favorable position for Nora.
Well, the important thing is they're just now opening the garage, so that is one thing that Nora-Rengo can play off of here, is they've done a good job fragging, but now's the time to come back to site, play off of that. They have the 2 people downstairs, C4 is coming out, they have the Evil Eyes and the Alders to try and defend this, but they need to play smart on angles. They need to try and get whatever intel they can, and Ramu getting another good pick here, starting to even it out, but with garage door open, this is where Empire could get more predictable, and they need to use that to their advantage to last out this round.
The verticality coming out from Karzeka to remove any possible rotations towards white pipes or the common rotate into the kitchen towards the back of white van. Karzeka still bouncing back and forth between positions up top, and Shepard, who carries diffuser, still outside of the garage panel. And now, as Karzeka looks away for just a moment, as he goes to the antechamber, a flank coming out from Ramu. The shots from the Alder won't land, but pressing up, Ramu's going to grab one. Another one for Ramu as he stops the plant. Finally finished off by the Evil Eye, and Ramu again! A huge show of force from Ramu on the castle, and Nora-Rengo successfully defend the basement on their 2nd attempt.
Well, what a round from Ramu, being the umpire on Empire that round. Fantastic play on a non-fragging operator, doing his best, using what little intel he had on the heartbeat sensor, but a lot of that was just good game sense. You saw him wasn't always just, oh, let me find out exactly where they are. You know, most of the intel on their team was dead or inside itself. Just great calls, great game sense. And that is the kind of top-level play they need to not only bring in this match to make it to the finals, but against their prospective opponents that will be coming up in those finals if they can make it that far. So this is on Empire now to start to figure out Nora-Rengo, start to figure out, okay, we need to lock down some of these key players like Ramu. We did manage to get a good pick on Waka that last time. We did cordon him off to the bathroom, but much better trades coming out a lot of the time from Nora-Rengo. They were able to at least trade back some of the kills on people that they lost, and they continued to progress down the floors, didn't give up too much upstairs, but it was still down to the wire there. Now they're playing the middle floor. This is where it's going to get a little bit tougher because now they've got to control top. But with the pulse of is that Maryu this time playing well? That should be interesting to see because he's going to be playing that archives play, something very typical of this bomb site. You couldn't even see him go for the C4 throw through the hatch next to lobby. That is a fun one. If you have the angle down pat, that could be a very good play that is very hard to deal with. So Empire going to have to do a bit more bottom-up control than they might be used to on this attack if that pulse is able to stay alive.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
Team Empire losing a round that they had handedly in control off the individual efforts of Ramu, and that's kind of been the story for both of these teams, digging themselves out of holes off the individual efforts and proficiency. And it looked like Ramu was almost caught off guard on a rotate there. His joystick immediately on those admin windows, awaiting the ingress of any of those defenders, and Ramu will get out of dodge as fast as humanly possible back towards long desk, and he'll wait out for anyone on an entry into copy hallway.
Well, again, this is getting predictable. We saw last time even a good run out onto the rappel of Shockwave because of the predictability. He might even consider switching sides on the rappel just to be a little less predictable, but of course that exposes to some other jump outs from the piano windows. Waka looks like he is setting up potentially for a jump out, or at least to deny any control over there, but now Waka's starting to be the predictable one playing over in the console side. Karjeka's going to help drone in for his teammate Joystick, who often is going to be droning for himself as well, but they got to know Waka is going to potentially drop the hatch, which if they can force him out, then they know where he's playing without having to drone him. They just need to take shots at his position. And if he's smart, he's going to drop. But I could see a very aggressive play from Waka if ill-timed for Joystick actually punish Joystick's play in despite the droning.
Well, Waka will drop back down to join Raisel on the yellow stairs. Once he can go all the way to the basement and possibly facilitate a flank up to Visa stairs to come in on the backside unsuspectingly on Team Empire. It's going to be up to them to watch their backs and make sure they have proper flank control. And looks like Papilia's taking a little bit of damage inside of the objective as the Bandit is currently not bringing a Nitro cell for that plant play. That's been a back and forth contest, but now Scyther will take down Maryu on an attempted flank through Visa's stairs. That'll most likely dissuade Waka from attempting the same thing, and now Empire stacking outside of the front door as a lobby push. No smokes on the side of Empire, as there's no glass available to see through them. It looks like they're just going to try and bull rush in through the front door.
Well, it is surprising how much they gave up control of the projector room above. You see the hatch there. So Shockwave being able to stay alive up there, open up the floor with his sledgehammer as needed. He even rotates back out to the patio because he's feeling safe there. But a lot of angles are being held from outside. As you mentioned, they're great angles, but those don't necessarily lead to a plant unless they can get something to cover. Smokes now coming out from the opponents, and there's no smokes on Empire side to try and cover for a plant. They need to get enough frags going on here to make this work, and very little utility to do that.
Well, all the stuns coming in, and a frag grenade from Shockwave will take down Raisel. That's the smoke, but running immediately away from a Nitro cell launched out from downstairs. Now Scyther and Shockwave will both fall. Ramu and Waka joining in, but Joystick able to trade out Ramu for that top control once again. Plant gets down, Papilia is just half a second late on the flank through circle desk. Waka has one holding his flank on spiral stairs. It's immediately traded out, but Joystick will shut down Papilia. The hatch is reinforced, so this will force Waka to go down a staircase, go for a very aggressive vault out onto the A balcony.
Well, this is not looking good for Waka.
Waka heading back over to spiral stairs. He'll vault the balcony. Pre-fire's coming out, and he's about halfway through the timer now on the diffuser, and they're holding all the way back from main gate. Makes it in close on the diffuser, and Waka's going to try and hold this. All of Empire. Karjeka joining in, trying to come up onto the balcony. He can't hit the shots. Waka close range. He gets it! Failed coverage by Empire, and Nora-Rengo. 3 straight rounds.
What an oversight. I don't think that was a diffuser so much as that was a gift box for Nora-Rengo that round. You plant it, you get away with it despite not having smoke, despite not having cover, despite the hatch being reinforced, so you can't use that angle. And what do? You make the same mistake Liquid made against you. You don't cover it. And look, the smiles on Nora-Rengo's face. They did not, I gotta imagine, they can't believe that just happened right there. He had to imagine in his head, there's no way I'm getting away with this. They're just gonna shoot me. He sees the shots coming down on him, and somehow a palm tree saves his life. What an amazing play by Waka. Just, I mean, I appreciate the strategy in terms of them. Okay, we can give up projector because we got to reinforce the hatch, but Sledge just did not use that to be able to cover that. He did not stay upstairs. He just gave up upstairs control to Waka instead of holding an angle on the diffuser. They both took long angles, but it's like they took a vacation before getting into those positions. You know where the diffuser's planted. It's not going to take you very long to figure out, okay, I need an angle on that, but I think they were so cautious of the way Waka is able to beat things. But that is unfortunate. So much work into planting that diffuser, just not able to stick it down. Although I am a little impressed they were able to get it planted without a whole lot of utility cover. And that was down to really good angle coverage from the outside, good grenade usage as well, so. I don't know, Nora-Rengo starting to walk away with Empire's map here. Obviously, we may see things switch with a side switch, but so far, seeing a lot more confidence coming out of them, and Empire seemingly making just small misplays completely being capitalized on.
Well, we talked about how yesterday Evil Geniuses were eliminated by Team Reciprocity, and without a doubt, Evil Geniuses were the hometown favorite, at least here in Montreal. As Parker so astutely said on Twitter, you couldn't go 12 feet without seeing an EG jersey. But just a few moments ago, we got a Nora-Rengo chant, and as was mentioned on the analyst desk, I imagine Hizoku has had a helping hand in garnering Nora-Rengo a few fans, and I wouldn't be at all shocked to see that Nora-Rengo has become the favorites in this tournament simply because of their attitude and their upset potential.
Yeah, I'd like to see maybe a little bit more cheering here coming out of Empire, even when they win rounds. Maybe just a little bit of confidence boosting. We saw even yesterday when Joystick looking distraught, Coach managed to say a few things to him, kind of pat him on the back and managed to make it work, but Shockwave now finally getting shut down. That's a lot of grenades. Joystick getting knocked to the floor as well. Pillia making it work with that rotate. This is, again, another faulty round here for Empire. Although, if the finish doesn't come onto Joystick, that could turn this around just a smidge. But that top floor, again, proving to be a huge problem for Empire.
You want to know the most depressing thing about that? Is it's the exact same run out, kill, and return to objective that Paula used on them yesterday.
Yeah. There's, again, that predictability. They are not really varying. They just need to execute better. But what do we get from Nora-Rengo? Unpredictability against that predictability. You know, they talk about stratting and counter-stratting and things like that, but if you're not adapting, you're just spending a lot of time taking a lot of notes to take the big L.
Contest inside a circle desk, and Shepard will shut down the Nitro potential from downstairs. Leveling Mankind again, but ooh, Joystick down to about 5 HP as he peeks out of the copy hallway. Hitting the deck with Papillia, taking a very long angle out from the bathroom doorways. He's trying to repel this push up long desk by Team Empire, and Papillia will tack on for his second of the round, taking down Shepard. Rotating outside currently is Scyther. Mario will tack on onto the 5 HP Joystick. So it's just the two left for Empire in a 2v4. Scyther and Karzeka, they don't really have a lot of pushing potential right now as far as utility is concerned. They don't have a lot of time, and they aren't even close to each other, and Racer will remove Karzeka with no potential for a refrag. Coming out from Scyther, he's alone, abandoned, not a lot to do with 30 seconds and no diffuser.
You also have to keep in mind the other defenders also have the Rook armor now, making them even more resilient to that Type 89. Doesn't matter though, Papillia shuts it down. Decides the round is over. Taking it 4-1. What a performance here from Nora-Rengo. This is what we came to see. This is what the flag there is for, to represent just how crazy this is gonna be. And with that, I think—
What am I watching?
I don't think that's the tactical timeout Empire we're hoping for.
I love this. I love the Nora-Rengo enthusiasm. I think we need to see a lot more of that. You know, we talked about yesterday with Liquid, with Gohan kind of, I don't know, losing his marbles at his own teammates. And then we see the stark contrast in Nora-Rengo, who seems so relaxed. And this is, without a doubt, the most high-pressure, high-stakes, high-intensity game these guys have ever played in their entire careers.
Yeah. But a team that can laugh even on rounds that they lose, that's a winning team in my mind. That is what has taken them this far already. And honestly, if they could keep this up, I don't see a limit other than the end of the tournament here. It's looking so good, whereas Empire not look super happy. I mean, at this point, the coach doesn't look mad, at least. That's a good sign. He's just, you know, trying to recollect them. He's got his clipboard of strats there, something he can try and do to bring them together, but it's on them to do what he's suggesting what they could do a little bit better. You see the thoughts coming out as well in terms of, all right, we know what we're doing wrong. Now it's time to figure out what we can do right. But we saw them come back against Liquid yesterday in a similar situation. If they lose map 1, that is certainly not them down and out, because they are a team that proved they could come back against Liquid. But I don't know, this is with the peppiness of Nora-Rengo, that might be hard to come back against just from a mentality perspective alone.
Yeah, Empire's coach there looking like I did as soon as I saw Papilia go for that run out. And that was a 3K in the round for Papilia on the Rook, the roaming Rook, seemingly touching every square inch of the map at one point during the round. But like you said, it's a 4-1 lead off the jump for Nora-Rengo on Consulate. They barely dropped the first round. Like I said, it comes down to a few gunfights upstairs, and maybe that round goes entirely differently. But it's 4 straight for Nora-Rengo
on Empire's map.
Yeah.
Let's look at really, we know Nora have a very good bank. So if Empire can't bring this back, that might be pretty difficult. I mean, to be fair, they did do very well on the Liquid's map yesterday in a situation when they'd been a bit down and out. So it's entirely within the realm of possibility to come back strong on bank if they can't take this map. We're certainly not writing off Empire again, but just looking dire for the way the situation is going. Every single bomb site, Nora-Rengo have had no problem defending for the most part. Unfortunately, you're not going to see the 4th bomb site for them, but nice little fact there about Consulate. So we saw facts before, of course, about how they were just undefeated on Coastline. That quickly got erased from history.
Liquid putting an end to that yesterday, and like you said, they came back after a very poor showing on Coast. There's nothing saying that Empire can't come back, and it's not even done map number 1 yet. And like you said, the side switch could alter things greatly. You could just see a very defensive-sided Consulate, which is not very outside of the norm, but it's impressive play all around from Nora-Rengo, and it seems like Empire just don't have any momentum behind them. And the first round was close, the second round was a bit of a nail-biter, and then the last couple rounds just haven't even been close.
Well, if last time on Garage was any indication, Ramu needs to be shut down early as he went crazy on this pulse, something he was able to get a lot of kills out of, no matter what they seem to do on Empire. There's that C4, of course, he doesn't connect. That's going to put the scare into him, continue to delay this further, he's just safely dropped now. He doesn't need to contest this. Nice C4, gonna put an end to it. Don't need to be upstairs to get the kill.
Look at they go. The Nitro Cell, the teamwork. It looks like it was almost going to be a team kill. And then everyone listening to the comms and backing away slowly as they all watch Shockwave go up in flames. Drones coming out now downstairs from Empire to try and establish what is going on. It's a full peel back for Nora-Rengo as they've flexed a couple rounds earlier on that they were roaming intensely and holding map control inside a bathroom, but a minute in, and everyone from Nora-Rengo fall back to the objective as they've expended all of their possible Nitro cells as well.
Yeah. Important thing, though, is the grenades are lost there. Shockwave has shown that even when they're not getting kills, those grenades have been very important in pressuring positions, getting people out of those positions, because they're not bringing a ton of other utility to do that. Yes, they also have the lifelines, which have been helpful in that, but those don't guarantee you get someone out of a position the way a grenade does. And they've not been able to shut it down. And there also is no Jaeger available this time, so that is even more important to keep those grenades alive a bit longer. Yes, they're out of the C4s, but getting at least 1 kill with those is a good start. They also have a smoke, and there goes Papilia, take it down. What little soft reach they had on Ash as well.
A little bit of top soft destruction now as Scyther will take down Ramu, cleaning away the kill from Scyther, who's about to shoot through the floor himself. And Shepard has the garage panels opened up. Bullets dancing around the head of Papilia, but won't find the lethal mark. And now 2 members cut down to 1 upstairs as Mario with a very nice shot upwards to the kill holes in the floor and up to the hatch. Stuns come out, but Waka at the bottom of yellow stairs will take down 2. It's 5 straight for Nora-Rengo on the defensive side, and they head into the second half up 5-1.
Honestly, at this point from Empire, we need to start seeing pinch kind of play. Even though they're switching over to defense now, they need to be using their communication effectively. And honestly, that's harder when you're a bit tilted, to communicate effectively, to focus, to do your thing. And those cheers, I tell you what, if you're Empire right now, that is certainly not going to motivate you unless it just makes you angry enough to get the kills. But fantastic play there, Mary. You're doing a great job. So much teamwork and communication. He bails out of there. Immediate turnaround on that. Go ahead, take the bathroom. Great plays all around. Good use of that C4. And again, they got the garage panels open with 30 seconds left in the round. The time management falling apart because they were rebuffed constantly. It seems like Empire are great at playing back on their attacks a bit, but because they're not pinching anyone out, because they're not actually gaining ground to get kills on those, all they're doing is just huddling Nora-Rengo back in sight, which is great if you've got 2 minutes left or 1.5 minutes left. But when you've got 30 seconds left, all you're doing is pressuring yourself into a position where you're gonna have to walk for bullets. And if you don't have utility to do something about that, it's gonna be a problem. And that was honestly a big problem we saw from Empire. It was great fragging ops, but a lack of utility in any kind of way to facilitate a plant. We'll see though how they do on defense. They're gonna be setting up with somewhat similar ops to what Nora, but Nora's gonna bring a lot more utility here in the sense that they're gonna be bringing that capped out a Thatcher as well to make sure that garage door gets open quickly. A good read on the fact that garage was gonna be first, because if you're seeing a Thatcher and a Thermite, generally that is a read that is gonna be the first bomb site. The capped out gonna facilitate some smoke for that, something we didn't see from Empire. Just overall, this is looking like Nora-Rengo could run away to match point with this if Empire don't manage to bring it back to this round and kind of stop the bleeding. And they've already used their timeout. Nora-Rengo, even if they lose a single round, can go timeout to stop any of that momentum.
So Team Empire on their back foot, and the biggest shock right now for Team Empire is yesterday they had a very similar performance to this. They actually came out of the half on Coastline in their first map against Liquid yesterday, down 5-1. The problem was that both Karzeka and Joystick were AWOL. No performance on the scoreboard whatsoever. The stark contrast here is that everyone on Empire is actually pitching in. Their effort is just not enough, and they are being repetitively pushed back and completely denied by the performances and the individual skill of Nora-Rengo, and that's the most concerning thing for me. If it's just a case of a couple players on Empire not waking up and not being ready to go on time, we've seen bounce backs from them before. It seems like they're rearing to go. It just feels like Nora-Rengo are dominating on console right now.
Yeah, and this is a big problem. Not only that they got Thatcher to be able to open that garage door quickly, you give them a lot of piano control quickly as well. Yes, you did a little bit of damage to Buck there. He's still got the angle. C4 is potentially going to stop him, but no. Completely read into it because with the floors open, you can hear the rip. You can start to predict the play and move away from it a little bit. He's still getting to maintain that control. Maryu also not being punished. They're just running completely over top of Empire here. A little bit of a grenade throw. Mishaps, but doesn't do any damage to anyone. He's still got one left to try and work with you, try to push down a position, and he's not over-pressing this. Doing damage to Shock right there.
Dangerous plays from Shockwave back-to-back. That's kind of like another Nitro Cell that missed on the side of Empire. So 0 for 2, swing and a miss for both of them. And Papilia has been contested by Shockwave multiple times through these kill holes, and yet no one has been able to find the kill. Joystick though on a flank upstairs, coming down Spiral, will take care of Maryu, and that's their fragging Ash removed from play. But it looks like Nora-Rengo a little less concerned with the top control, a little more concerned with actually getting a plant off, in complete difference to what Empire were trying to do. Oh man, what a jump out from Joystick. He's still detecting Waka, will finally remove him. But now it's a 4v2 to work out for Nora-Rengo. Beautiful aggression coming out. Oh, and Waka with a great shot onto Shockwave. Pre-gaming the punch hole in the wall from Kitchen on the default cam will reveal the position of Papilia. So will the chorus of shots coming out. Waka with another one though. That's 3 on the round for him. He'll need the ace to keep this alive. Trying to stick a plant right underneath the ledge of White Van, and Empire aren't rushing up on this. He's gonna get this off. Waka completing the plant and pre-firing out though. He's mag dumping away and his escape has been cut off by the toxic gas at his backside. Big piece coming out from Scyther on the back, and Empire pinching in at the exact same moment. A beautifully executed retake, and they'll get the defuse off. They'll bring one back and stop the bleeding momentarily.
Well, given what we saw yesterday and what we're seeing now, the key seems to be Joystick able to play that Jaeger. His Ash play just not living up to the reputation of needing it to be banned consistently. Jaeger seems to be the real problem now. I was gonna say just before he jumped out, you know, Joystick needs to be a threat earlier on because very often we see him rotating a bit late back to site, but he did exactly what he needed to do. He said, okay, you have Thatcher, you have the ability to open these garage panels earlier. That means you're gonna huddle up in front of that garage, setting up for that plant. Perfect setup for him to leap down, do exactly what he needed to do, and you see that on the screen right now. Doesn't matter that he was traded back. That right there, that move won them the round because it stopped all the momentum of that plant. Yes, he got the plant down, but at what cost? Because there was still a smoke left because Joystick had stopped most of the plant attempts. That last smoke didn't need to stop it. Like you said, just cut off Waka's rotation. Waka was the only one to really even do anything for the most part that round. Tried to clutch it out for himself, but that's the confidence booster Joystick needed. But now the rest of the team, like you said, pitching before, needs to really just lift the whole boat higher because they're not a match point yet, but they're getting very close to it here. And we'll see some good intel coming out here in terms of they will have the bulletproof camera, plus the Maestro Evil Eyes, and that will be some good counter to smoke play because they know Ramu's continuing to bring that capital, so smoke play very likely to be a key factor in this. I mean, more often than not, it's going to be to go for a plant inside console office, but they could still try and play this here. That deployable shield, though, is going to make it very unlikely they want to go for a plant inside projector, especially the Evil Eye. Just too risky to go for it unless you can really push them out. Upside, though, they do have Habana, which will allow them to open up the backside of that desk, pretty much where that deployable shield was. That will potentially pressure Maestro out of there, especially with the grenades and asphyxiating bolts they have to play with. So Nora doing a much, much better job of bringing the utility they need to crack whatever Empire are bringing. Just didn't see the same from Empire, but fragment power on the joystick was what they need. Shockwave, however, falling so early. That is a C4 already off from Waka. Still doing work for his team.
Not quite sure if that was an attempted run out. It was onto the A balcony, well read by Waka. Using the 1X sight on the Thatcher too. It's an old school look we haven't seen from a lot of players in a while now, but Waka making it work quite well. A lot of the Nora-Rengo players actually utilizing 1X sights for these close range engagements, and they're expecting Empire to get up in their face. A drone gonna miss joystick inside a piano. Mario still holding flanks, but shifting his focus every few seconds, and this could be another beautiful flank from joystick. He's gonna find one in behind the vending machine. Joystick shut down by Waka. A great reaction there. He's got another one at the top of his stairs. The smoke choking him out. Flashbangs come raining in. Will full blind Papillia cooking a frag grenade up to the top of the stairs, and he'll detonate prematurely, but Ramu will clean up Slyther. Now Shepard alone on yellow stairs with no real exit.
Everyone on Empire seemingly getting pinched out here. They did use up the majority of the utility. They still have smokes to go for the plant. I can't imagine they have any grenades left here. Check one grenade, no, 0 grenades left. So Ramu, though, doesn't need a grenade. Bullets doing work. They know exactly where he's going to be playing. He is going for the plant. Pings coming out from those Evil Eyes as well, doing some good work. But it is all on Karjeka to clutch this.
Karjeka whiffing on Papillia, and Ramu cleaning up from the console windows. The Japanese hopefuls 1 round away from taking map #1 against the Russian machine that hasn't broken in a while, but on the verge of breaking, at least on consulate.
Well, scary part is Bank being a very good map for Nora-Rengo going into this next match, especially if they go in with a 7-2 scoreline to start. We're going to have to see an even stronger comeback, I think, than we saw yesterday from Empire. This is going to be a tough fight, but again, the utility just working out for them. You saw how bad they got burned out on the stairs, how quickly they were pressured from multiple angles. They take yellow stairs, something Empire just failed to do. They're so focused on admin. And it is, again, that lack of flexibility ultimately on show here.
Seems like Empire getting read like a book by Nora-Rengo, and it's interesting that in their hype-up video before we started this match, that Empire said that Nora-Rengo's strats were a little unsophisticated and a little premature.
That might have been a premature comment in and of itself.
And yet, I mean, your lack of ability to adapt is what has put you in a 4-round hole currently. The irony is not missed upon us.
Well, the way things are going right now, Empire might have a lot of time to think about their strats the rest of the weekend. But it's certainly not over yet. We're not writing them off. Being a match point on your map with just 2 points on the board,
10 seconds remaining.
That's a terrible position to be in starting this off here because, as you said, the stakes just get higher and higher each day. And this is the furthest either of these two teams have been. I mean, yeah, that's an accomplishment in and of itself, but just ask Troy how it feels to not be going further. It is not good.
The distance is an accomplishment, but none of these teams will be satisfied unless they lift that brand new hammer in the middle of the stage, just waiting for one of these 4 teams remaining to hoist it above their heads. And it looks like Nora-Rengo are making a very strong case for why they should be at least one of 2 teams battling it out in the grand final, the best of 5 tomorrow, to lift that hammer and win the lion's share of a $2 million prize pool.
Well, they've got to know that this pressure is again going to come onto yellow stairs. It's down to Capitao, combined with the grenades from Buck, generally to fight this, but surprisingly, they've actually kind of stopped pressing that for right now, looking for other approaches instead. Waku and Ramu, yeah, been doing a bit of work so far. That is, yeah, I mean, but it's like when you're already up 6 points, when you're crediting just 2 players, you almost don't have enough room on the screen to credit the rest of the players of Nora-Rengo, who's absolutely been showing up and facilitating many of those kills with callouts and flanks and so much teamwork.
Well, this was the thing with Ramu coming in, almost like Virtue coming in for Fnatic. Both the APAC teams on this side of the bracket had new roster additions, and Ramu was a little more unknown than Virtue. Virtue came in with a very, very promising scouting report, and Ramu, the replacement for JJ, you know, he had a few things here and there, but it looked like he was still warming up from what we had heard inside the scrims and what we had heard from different teams. Man, the further Nora-Rengo go, the better Ramu gets.
Yeah. Good read from Nora, though, realizing that pushing the yellow stairs is going to be read into by Empire and taking advantage of the flexibility. They are very heavily stacked up here. They did exactly what I was talking about last round, which is to be able to open up that small hole behind the long desk to get some angles behind, grenades coming out as well. Just trying to clear that area out as much as possible, push in for a potential plant, shooting through the table as well. Looks like they're getting up enough shots there for Pilly to take it down Empire. Shockwave not able to hold it out for his team. Now it's going to be a lot of long fights with Waka already winning those.
Walking a shutdown joystick on the attempted flank up spiral stairs. Karzeka, though, will remove the head of Racehill. Ramu's taking a lot of damage from the Evil Eyes as well as the stun cannon should come out. Waka has pressed into the circle door, but time dwindling here for Nora-Rengo. Try and close this map out. They have the 2-man advantage now. As Mario will dispatch of Shepard. The Evil Eyes get removed as well as Karzeka presses up into connector. He stops the defuse, but there's a lot of time left now, as they have the sight control, which is so influential. And now more shots coming out from Connector. Karzeka will level things at a 2v2. Pressing up against the bathroom doorway, Scyther now. It's an onslaught coming from Team Empire. Ramu left alone inside of A-bomb, constantly pinged out, and Karzeka will shut it down. Beautiful 2v4 execution from the Russian pair.
I think the big problem right there was just lack of utility on the Capitao towards the end. They could have easily cut off Karzeka by just smoking the doorway or his asphyxiating bolt, preferably smoke because, well, he's fighting along as with the ACOG, but just allowing him to fire from all the way in console office through connector into the site cost them that round entirely. They could not find a single position he couldn't seem to find him in, or the crossfire from his teammate. Surprisingly looking a little dismayed despite the fact that they're still sitting on this match point here. You guys should probably be a little happier, although I got to imagine they felt this close to moving on to map 2 because they had a great start to that round, but they just let Karzeka completely dominate them from a single position. Had no way to fight it. They needed to reserve those smokes for later.
That plant spot there from Mariu was a little suspect. There was nothing really stopping him from staying and planting in behind the A-bomb out of the purview of Karzeka inside a connector.
Yeah.
He just chose to rotate, and that's where it all started to snowball. So
I think the Evil Eye scared them a little bit in terms of the ability to see through the smoke, but also the ability to kind of tag them up as they're planting. But that also offers the opportunity to be able to shoot the camera. So it's just, I wouldn't have definitely seen that as enough of a threat to stop that. Like, once that plant is down, yeah, they're in a tough spot. There's little you could do. You don't have joystick left alive to go for some crazy flank or something like that. They definitely could have held that out had they been able to get the plant down and just denied Karzeka just long enough. You see Karzeka and joystick there along with Scyther, top fragging for their team, but Waka and Ramu, as you saw from the stats earlier, doing some serious work. We'll see Ramu actually bring out the first Jackal of this match, so he's going to try and help shut down Joystick's roams, but also potentially be tracking Karzeka, as very often Pulse's footprints will get caught out because he'll go do some setup for his team and rotate downstairs. More often than that, but downstairs is going to be the bomb site. Joystick going to be on that long flank upstairs for now. And that's what he does, run around the map, stay in positions where he can stay alive for a while, pick off anyone who is stray, and then come back late for a flank. But guess whose footprints are gonna get picked up? Probably should have wiped your feet a bit better before you went running around Joystick.
Joystick gonna retreat all the way to admin as he waits for these first set of Jackal pings to expend, but considering they found their man off rip, I don't imagine Ramu will walk away from those footprints anytime soon. They want to have constant information on where Joystick is, and that's a dire strait for Empire to be in, trying to battle out of not having that flank potential that Joystick provides, and that's how dominant Empire are. That's when they're most dominant, is when Joystick has free mobility, and yet this Jackal is really going to hinder that.
That's always the question. Do you press him and potentially lose people on that pitch because he's so good in a fight when his back against the wall? Or do you just leave him and hope the pings will keep him off site long enough to execute and then anticipate his approach for that flank towards the end? C4 is coming out though, not doing really any damage here. That's going to be an unfortunate expenditure of utility, but they do not have the Capitao now. That is the one thing working in Empire's favor, because instead they focused on the Jackal, but that Jackal also brings a set of smokes, just no asphyxiating bolts.
Joystick still inside of admin right now as he's pressing in through the secretary desk doorway, and looks like all of Nora-Rengo for the moment have backed off. And this cardiac sensor coming out from Karzeka, constantly providing information. He has one nitrocell remaining on his person, but it was a whiff nitrocell from Shockwave earlier on, and another whiff nitrocell as it goes out from Karzeka and will not connect. So that's a lot of utility wasted on the side, and now Joystick droned out inside the connector. Rom still has 2 Jackal tracks on his Inox, and he's just waiting for the peek out from Joystick. He sees the barrel of the gun. Oh, but what a shot! Joystick put the 5 HP, but he wins it out against Ramu and removes the Jackal, his biggest nemesis, from play.
Feels eerily similar to what we saw from Reciprocity and Fox before, but he's still on such low health, it won't be hard to shut him down as long as you get some kind of advantage. But Maryu going for the flank, unfortunately for him, it is called out. That is a pulse. He's going to know when you're on that approach, assuming he's got someone to cover him while he's on the heartbeat sensor, and that is going to deny their approach. Yes, they have the garage open, but way too many members of Team Empire left alive, and that's certainly going to help. Definitely worth it for Joystick there, getting a 2K before dying.
Flanks again from Joystick. Shockwave as well, the MPX on yellow pillar. Pings coming out even more onto the remaining attackers. Waka will fall at Shockwave, trying to go for 3. Shockwave lighting up Maryu, but unable to finish off. Will whip out the Deagle in desperation to try and finish it off, and he will. Shockwave with 3 to round out the round and keep Empire alive on console.
If I'm Nora-Rengo right now, first thought through my mind is call a timeout. Try and stop this momentum. Do not, there it is, the technical timeout call. That is the right call at this moment, because you want to stop any chance of this momentum continuing. We saw what happened yesterday when when Empire just got its head together, they finally realized what they were doing wrong. They managed to get a little momentum. Joystick was able to play his thing. The rest of the team was able to do their thing around it. It really worked out, and so far we're seeing that come back again on the defense here from Empire. It's working out. I mean, there were some great plays that round, but the fact that they weren't able to win that fight against Joystick earlier really stalled them out of it, because again, they had to worry about that jump out that again punished them. When you have to watch your back the whole time, you cannot be effective on the push, and they were starting to get low on time. I think they've had good plays and good pushes. It's just down to individual plays that they're just not winning out on some of these fights, whether it be Karzeka or Joystick, shutting them down. We definitely have the skill here, but that is not a smile I see on his face. We need to see those smiles come back. We need to see the coach really rile them up for this. The crowd as well trying to charge that back up. If we do, we can see the shutout, but it's match point again. They still cannot take it that last inch.
This is also mirroring what we saw on map number 1 between Liquid and Empire yesterday, just reverse roles. As far as Nora-Rengo and Liquid are concerned, it was Liquid going up early, 5-1 at the half, and then Empire bringing a few rounds back before ultimately sputtering out as they just couldn't complete the flawless comeback run to push it into overtime. So far, Empire, like I said, have staved off elimination. They've stopped the bleeding for a little while, but they're always going to be on that back foot. It's always going to be elimination point until they can push it to overtime.
Well, now they're bringing 2 utility to try and shut down poor Joystick. He's now going to be tracked and called, and they're going to hope that's going to be enough to be able to stop the pressure from him. But none of that really matters when you fly out windows, right? You can be called and tracked all day long, but no one's going to catch that ping to the last second when you fly out a window. They just need to know, is he near somewhere where he can come flying out at us? And a lobby defense is definitely that case. You're going to be focused on a lot of areas where jump outs are a huge concern. We saw that, for example, just the pressure on Shockwave when he was on his repels. And that is again going to be the case here for Nora-Rengo. They need to have a smart approach. We could even see them approach from a different angle than that front door. Might be a smart play, but they also have 4 smokes. Something we didn't see from Empire. They did manage to get the plant down and then lose on it, but there's a lot more utility to make sure the plant does get down from Nora-Rengo at the same time as being able to track and potentially delay Joystick. So they have all the utility and tools that they need, but they need to get into positions early. They need to have that extra bit of time, and they need to take that top floor control projector. Broken windows, definitely going to delay this just a little bit in terms of Ramu making sure he has the right angle. Luckily, the C-78 pretty good at range, but we also heard a lot about how the PDW very good at range.
Papilia making his immediate ingress in towards admin, and he'll do whatever he wants. Come grab this Visa default camera through the floor, as opposed to risking your life pushing in through Visa. unknowing if anyone's down that teller's hallway or creeping their way up the visa stairs from the basement. Smart play, and all of Nora-Rengo continuously pushing in towards these pings coming out onto a couple members of Empire, currently holding down meeting room for that top control to try and protect themselves from what Empire at least tried to do on their attacking round while attacking lobby, which was just absolutely assault the objective and don't worry about your top control.
Well, they are definitely going for a lot of attempts at top control, but there's also a lot of members of Empire looking to rebuff that, and you pretty much got to force them off or kill them, because if you don't have a top control, we saw what Walk was able to do with it last time. It was definitely a big problem for the team, starting to try and put pressure on Joystick, and he falls for it. Walk, his absolute nemesis. I would love to see a stat of how many times Walker has specifically killed Joystick in this match. It's got to be nearing the double digits at this point.
The hardest part of that as well is that they have a Valkyrie and a Doc and a Maestro in play, so there could be a bulletproof camera, or Karzeka could have just taken barbed wire, but you're guaranteed all your default cameras, your black eyes, and your evil eyes are all going to be compromised, as Waka hasn't actually hacked them yet. Interesting. And he's got contention downstairs from Shockwave.
Certainly could go for the hack if he feels like it, but maybe it's just a case of he has a job to do right now in terms of pacing for this round. That's his focus, is to go for that flank to get the job done on the backside of the site to get set up for a potential plant as Mario tries to take the top control. Plant already going down inside the smoke.
How the Evil Eye's not preventing this from happening. Scyther will take down Wako. The plant gets completed. Papilia with one. Outside is Scyther as he has 2 to his list, trying to go for 3 against Ramu, and he nails it! But now Scyther left alone, detected on 20 HP, trying to lock it down from Spiral Stairs. Papilia whiffing on the shots. Scyther able to make it back inside the main lobby, going for a repel out now as Scyther is on top of the diffuser. Repelling back in is Mario in the bathroom hallway. A frag grenade cooked, and that'll wipe it out. Nora-Rengo win map number 1. 1 map away from the grand finals.
We really saw Nora make the same mistake Empire made of leaving that diffuser unguarded to be counter-diffused, or disarmed rather. But no, was not to be for Nora-Rengo, just ready to close out. Now, I gotta imagine the smiles are gonna be coming out from the team. They were looking a little bit